There are innumerable ways to meet one's doom when fighting the vile monsters known as the Skaven. The hidden blades of Clan Ishin, the green-tinged plague fumes of Clan Pestilence, and the seething monstrosities of Clan Moulder can all deliver death in their own hideous ways. Yet none of the Skaven clans are as efficient in dealing out murder and mayhem on a mass scale as the deviously creative innovators of Clan Skryre. A seemingly endless supply of weird, warpstone-powered weaponry flows from their workshops, giving the Skaven armaments capable of cutting down even the most stalwart of dwarven shield walls or heavily armored of Bretonnian cavalry charges. While new creations often grace the armies of Skavendom, few can truly be said to be reliable, even by Skaven standards. The few weapons that are both extremely deadly and at least moderately reliable have been adopted by Skaven warlords worldwide. Chief among them are Warplock Jezzails, deadly long rifles capable of firing warpstone bullets at alarming speed. As these weapons have existed for thousands of years, numerous Skaven warriors have wielded them to devastating effect. Most legendary among them are Natty Buboe and his Sharpshooters. Natty Buboe was a Skaven in service of Clan Moors, participating in numerous battles against both Greenskins and Dwarfs for control of Carrick 8 Peaks. As he fought, his skill grew, until eventually he was the finest gunner to ever hold a Warplock jezzail. Bubo's talent with the gun eventually reached the point where he could shoot a dwarf in the eye from over 7,000 paces, outranging any handgun or crossbow the dwarfs could bear against him. This particular talent secured his status as a legend amongst his scheming fellows. During one battle, Natty shot a dwarf engineer through his telescope, while safely outranging the engineer's own weapon. A nearby Dawi, unwilling to accept that the craft of their people had been outdone by a loathsome rat on 2 legs with a half-working piece of scrap, took up the engineer's gun to return fire. Natty shot him through the telescope too. Then another dwarf took up the gun. Natty shot him as well. The pattern continued throughout the battle, with Natty Buboe securing an impressive tally of dead dwarfs by the end. It is unclear from the records if victory belonged to the Skaven or the dwarfs, but if Natty's performance was any indication, it was a sad day for the Karazhan Corps indeed. While there is no record of a regiment of Warplock jezzails following Natty Buboe in the primary sources, it is not unreasonable to assume that several opportunistic underlings stayed near Natty to learn from him before inevitably attempting to assassinate the sharpshooter. Such dynamics are not exactly uncommon in Skaven society, after all. These potential traitors would need to be careful, however, for it's not wise to antagonize the best shot the Under Empire has ever seen. Warpstone bullets pass through Skaven skulls just as easily as dwarf skulls, after all. Maybe even easier. Introduced with the Prophet and the Warlock DLC for Total War Warhammer 2, Natty Buboe's Sharpshooters are the Warplock Jezzail Regiment of Renown on the Skaven roster. They cost 1,300 gold in multiplayer, 70 gold less than a normal rank 9 Warplock jezzail unit. In addition to this value bonus, they also possess the Stalk and Snipe special abilities. While this doesn't sound like a lot, it is hands down one of the most busted ability and unit combinations to ever make its way into Total War Warhammer, at least against certain factions. It lets them hide while firing at almost artillery range, meaning nothing can fire back at them. You can still see their purple-tinged bullet trails, so your opponent still knows where they are, but they just can't tell their cannons or wizards to blow the sharpshooters apart. While stalking and sniping isn't a huge deal against mobile factions or armies without any expensive units, it is hell for slow, expensive factions that rely on cannons to shut down long-range enemy attacks. Basically, it is a dwarf player's worst nightmare. I'm a dwarf main, and I really want to make this a better matchup for the rest of us, but besides not being very good, I also have nothing that easily deals with this unit. Any effort to take it out ultimately costs more than just ignoring them, but that doesn't feel good either because they can do a lot of damage over the course of a battle. Besides dwarfs, Natty Buboe's sharpshooters are good against any relatively slow faction that has at least a couple of pricey units. Other decent candidates are against the Vampire Coast, Nurgle, and Warriors of Chaos, though it should be noted all of them have better options of dealing with the sharpshooters than the dwarfs do. Sharpshooters can also do alright against any other faction, but it might be better to take a generic Warplock jezzail if you don't have a specific plan to use that Stalk Snipe ability. And that was our overview of Natty Buboe's Sharpshooters, the first Skaven Regiment of Renown to appear on the channel. I'm glad to get them out, though I must say this unit leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Their execution was done very well, but they kill my precious Dobby so well that I can't help but grumble. Hopefully the rat enthusiast viewing the video enjoyed it though, so I'll just have to take some comfort from that. Anyways, please be sure to like, subscribe, the other YouTubey things. Keep commenting video ideas down below. It really helps keep the creative juices flowing when I'm having trouble deciding a topic for a future video. Until next time, this has been Sigmar's Chosen, signing off for now.